So on Fishing Historic Places, we explore the world of the Northeast. We check out particular areas of historic interests and enjoy fishing wherever we can. And as you know, I'm a history teacher here in Western Massachusetts, have been for a long time, and in that time I've run an outdoor club for 30 plus years. Some of you watching have been in it with me. And in that club we've explored fishing and hunting opportunities all over the Pioneer Valley. Now, I'm excited to introduce a young man who just won an award from the state of Massachusetts, and he did so in a particularly interesting area, the site of the first landing of an English colonist here in the Pioneer Valley, but more recently, the site of an epic battle with an award-winning fish, and I'm going to introduce you to Cassandra Pynchon. So I'm holding in my hand a Massachusetts Sport Fishing Award for Youth Catch and Release, White Catfish, 20 inches, and the Pen. And I'm talking to the young fella that made it all happen right here. This is Cassandra Pynchon, and we can see him in the image here on the night of the famous fight. Now, Pynchon Point witnessed William Pynchon and the first English settlers landing, and it's been a hot spot for fishing action ever since that point. So you were out there, Cassandra. What time of night was it approximately?
It was probably 10:30 at night, I'd say.
Who were you with?
I was with my buddy Josh.
All right, so you and Josh were out there, and what were you using?
I believe this was the tail of a bluegill.
So he was using a little bit of chunk bait. Tail of a bluegill. Yep. What size hook? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
No.
It was pretty small.
So like a 4?
Yeah, like a 4.
Like a size 4.0 hook he's got out there. You had some weight on it?
Yeah.
What size weight?
Probably like a 2 ounce, I'd say.
2 ounce. So he was keeping it down in the river on the bottom.
Yep.
Connecticut River there, what were we looking at for depth? Do you remember about?
Probably like 10, 15 feet.
10 to 15 feet. Because was it a muddy bottom, gravel?
Yeah, it was pretty muddy. So
he picked this thing up off the muddy bottom. And what month are we talking about?
I believe this was October 27th.
Late. We're approaching Halloween there. Were you in costume?
No. No
costume. All right. Well, he could have dressed like his forefather, William Pynchon. Then we would have had a real picture here. But anyways, he was in the camo. He's got the waders on.
Yeah.
He's with a buddy, and I always tell the young guys, when they go out on the river especially, but really anywhere, if you're going fishing, you should be going with a buddy when you're a younger person. And really, seriously, when you're older as well. Things can happen quick in the outdoors. That's called an adventure. Sometimes adventures are things you don't want to have if you're all by yourself. So you had the bait presented in the water.
Yep.
And had you had success prior to this catch?
I think, that day we were throwing some night crawlers out there, trying to catch some bait, like some eels, but I think we were having good luck with the smallmouth that day. And then as the night went on, we probably had like 1 or 2 channels.
So the blue channel catfish were what, any size to them, or?
Probably like 20 inches, around 20 inches.
Good fighters.
Yeah, and then later in the night we got the white catfish.
So tell me about this. How did it pick up?
It picked it up and just started going. You know, we leave our drag loose. We set it in like a little rod holder, so with a bell on it. So like this pole was the farthest pole away from me where I was sitting, and I just heard the bell. Like every fisherman knows, when you hear the bell or you hear the drag going, you run over there. I set the hook, and the fight was on. Now,
this size fish, it's got a little bit of girth to it. Probably gave you a pretty good fight.
Yeah, it did. I was using a medium heavy rod and reel, so.
What pound test?
I think it was 12-pound test.
So on 12, there's a lot of obstructions on a river bottom. Yeah. It's always better to be up on a river, because you never know what he's going to wrap himself around. At Pynchon Point, it could be an old jalopy, an old automobile, a shopping cart, Who knows?
This is also after a storm, so a lot of sticks and...
The river was up? Was the river up?
It was pretty up.
Wow. So that's something. I often avoid the river after a storm. You were right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had a very wet fall this last year. So that's perseverance right there. He's getting out even though the river's high and it was muddy?
Yeah, it was pretty muddy.
Wow. Well, you're using live baits so that they're smelling it. They're moving up. Had you been chumming? Did you chum at all?
No, we don't really chum.
Wow. So this is with a naked bottom. No chum. He's making it happen. So talk about the fight.
I think it was like 2.5 minutes. But first, I knew it was a catfish. By the way, it wasn't like, it was kind of just swimming. It felt like you're reeling something dead. But I thought it was just a channel catfish, because the white catfish aren't very common around here. And then there's a video, when I reeled this in, my buddy's like, oh, that's a big white cat. And it was like, sure was.
So Josh made the ID.
Yeah.
He said, that's a white cat, not a channel. I caught the blue channels, but I've never caught a white. So you basically took your pictures, you measured it.
Yep.
And then?
I sent it into the fishing award program for the state, where you can find on Mass.gov.
Mass.gov.
Mass.gov, yep.
Yep.
The lady that runs the program, I think her name's Deborah Chamberlain, I think. So she's the one that approves it all, and she was the one that had the award ceremony. And usually in March, they have the award ceremony for all the winners for the year. So I went down to Westboro to the
headquarters?
Yeah, the headquarters, which is a very nice building. And picked up the award, took some pictures, and now I'm here.
Very cool. How about the white cat? Where's he right now?
He's back in the river.
So he's probably...
He's hopefully growing.
At the mouth of the river where he's picking up all that spring flood debris, right? So he's still out there.
Yep.
Catch and release.
Yeah.
Mr. Pynchon, I got to give you my hand. That's a great story for a young guy like you, and you're already hooked on fishing, but you got yourself an award from the state in a historic site. This is cool stuff.
And I hope to be back next year with 3 or 4 of these.
3 or 4? Yeah. Don't set the bar too high, Pynchon. Relax a little bit. But the point is, this is our Connecticut River, right out in front of Bondi's Island here, Pynchon Point right here. A lot of people disregard the Connecticut River, but the fishery has been getting better every single year. There's trophies out there. Great work, Cassandra.